That should fix that problem. There we are. Much, much better. There we are. All right. So, okay, guys, I'm just setting stuff up. I am just getting everything set for right now. We are going to be going live. We are live right now. I am setting everything up. Anybody who is in the stream, please click that thumbs up, like. Don't forget to do that for me. All right. So I'm going to say if anyone can hear me right now, hey guys, I am just setting a few things up. Hey Tick. I am trying to get something set up right now, so bear with me just a quick second here. All right. Hi, Curdy. I hope you can hear me, Kirsten. If you can, send me a text. I'm trying to set something special up today, Tick, so it's taking me a little bit here. I hope everyone is doing good today. I know I am. I was a little bit tired earlier, but right now I feel much, much better. It took me a bit to get set. All right. It took me a bit to get set after yesterday doing all the work. So, I hope you guys noticed what the name of the stream is. This is obviously something special. I am dedicating this stream today to my dad. Yesterday was his 74th birthday. So I would like to just come in and talk a little bit about him and give you guys a little bit of background into my family and where I come from. So my dad was born in Pittsfield, Mass. He turned 74 yesterday. He is, obviously, because you saw it said about a special veteran. He is a veteran, so Veterans Day is always very close to his birthday. He's a Vietnam vet. He was a subtender during the Vietnam conflict, and him and my mom met back in the early to mid 70s and got married in 1975, and then I was born in 77. My sister was born in 86, and that was also the year of my dad's head injury. So like I said, he was born up in Pittsfield. His mom was from Winooski, Vermont, and his dad was actually from North Adams, but also he was up in Canada a lot, from what I understand. So my dad was born right in Pittsfield and spent most of his life there until we moved in 1985 down to Southwick. Other than that, he did travel quite extensively while he was in the Navy. He went to places like, he was over in California. He went through the Panama Canals. He crossed the international date line. He went to Scotland and was stationed there for a time. So he really got a chance during his time with the Navy to get a lot of traveling in, and got a chance to really see a lot of different things. And he really believes a lot in what our country is supposed to stand for and the freedoms that we're supposed to have. So that's why he went into the Navy, to help protect those things. And then after getting out, and him and my mom got together and got married, and then they settled into a nice little life together in Pittsfield, and then started growing the family by having me. And then he had been doing like janitorial work in the hospital, and then moved on to doing things like cleaning carpets, which is actually kind of a passion of his. He's really good at cleaning carpets, and he does a really good job, and he likes to show that off anytime he gets a chance. So he's been itching to actually come over to my house and clean my carpets. I know you have. Don't deny it. So we are looking forward to at some point doing that. Right now, things have just been so hectic and crazy that, as you guys know, we're barely keeping things going as it is to keep things set around the house, never mind getting a chance to do some deep dive cleaning. So he is very passionate about that, and it's something that he's really good at. So I can see why he's passionate about it, because I feel the same way with the things I'm passionate about. When I'm good at things, it gives me more passion, and I focus on it a lot more, and I'm able to really work on those feelings and really make sure that things are how do you put it, really make sure that those things are prominent, and make sure that I can be really good at them, because I already feel that I'm good at them, so I want to get better and better, and I believe I get a lot of that from him. um so it was kind of drying up getting good work to support a family of three. So my uncle, actually my dad's brother-in-law, found a job in Windsor, Connecticut. It actually was. We moved down to Southwick, where the same town where my aunt lived, and we had a nice little apartment for a while, and then we ended up getting a house, and that was actually, as of October 31st, that was 30 years now that my parents purchased their home. So they've had a nice little ranch style house right there in Southwick for 30 years. And my dad worked as a paper tender, a dryer man at a paper factory, making paper. It was Windsor Stevens Paper Mill. Um, he worked there for many years, and he ended up, that's where he had his head injury. Back when I was still in school, back when my sister was still very little. It was actually, she was only about 6 months old at the time, I believe, when his head injury occurred at his place of work. He was actually trying to fix a safety issue, and when he went to do it, it actually pulled his head into the dryer and then crushed his skull. So prior to me even having any of my head injuries, I had already had experience with people who had been head injured. Very close experience, because, like I said, I was, let's see, it was 1986. So I was just like 8 years old at the time. 7 or 8 years, yeah, 8 years old at the time. So it was pretty much most of my life that he was head injured. So I've grown up with my dad having that, and I saw um, how it affected how he was. He was never any less of a dad. He was always still really good and really there for us and everything. Just sometimes his temper was a little bit shorter than it had been, and sometimes he didn't really, you know, he wasn't the same funny person all the time. Sometimes he did have sometimes where he just seemed a little bit dour and wanted some alone time. And I understand that now, because now that I've had my head injury, I go through the same thing sometimes, and I understand where he was coming from talking to a lot of other people who have been head injured. We all seem to say that same kind of thing. It all does very much resonate with us that it's very hard sometimes to deal with a lot of outside um now my mind just completely went back, outside input. um it's very hard to have that sensory input coming at us. Sometimes we need that alone, we need that down, we need that just be away from everything and let our minds kind of reset. um and now I understand that a lot more. It was really something that I didn't quite understand fully. I understood that he needed time alone, but until I've gone through it myself, I didn't understand the full extent of why. And now that I do, I can understand how much it hurt him to even have to do that. But the good thing is, even though he had some of those times, he always made sure to make sure we were all happy and all having fun. And he made sure that he busted his butt working and everything to um, make sure we had good Christmases and good birthdays. And, it was hard because their generation was kind of toward the end of the generation that really could do all those things like buying houses and stuff like that. It started to get a lot harder now for the younger generations. And even my parents did struggle. They were a two-income family for a lot, and then it was very difficult for them. But they always made sure to put me and my sister first. They always made sure to really take care of us as a family and make sure that we grew so that we could do the same for our future families, and so that we could go out into the world and be able to share our wealth of personal knowledge and experience with everyone else, which, as you guys already know, is what this channel, as well as all of my other channels, are all about. It's Some of the stuff is very much meant for entertainment. I do some of my videos, and some of the things that I do within them, I do very much for the entertainment sake. But a lot of what I'm trying to do is pass on my knowledge and my experience to help anyone else out there who might need that boost, who might need that thing. So what I'm trying to do with this particular live is not just say to my dad, happy birthday, and that I love you very much, and thank you for everything that you have done for me over the years and that you continue to do for me now, and that I know you will keep doing for me in the future. I also wanted to come on and let people know that you need to honor and cherish that older generation, that family, because they're only going to be there for so much time. And you need to make sure they know how much they mean to you. And you need to take that time yourself, because you're going to want your kids doing that as you're raising them. And the way to instill those things into your kids is by showing them that you do the same thing. It's a big portion of how to raise a child is showing them to do the right things to begin with. If you can show them that, if you can lead them on that path, they'll naturally take the right path. But you need to show them that right from wrong to begin with. I think a lot of the problems that people have nowadays are they tend to not take that time, whether it be because things are too expensive and they need to work so much, so they're not being, as active as they should within their kids' lives, or they can't because things are just so outrageously expensive nowadays that to afford anything, families have to have four incomes with two parents, and it barely even works then. But the other problem I think that we're having is that people are just not wanting to take that time to really teach their kids the stuff, because the kids fight back a little bit and people tend to just give up. They tend to be more of a throwaway thing where they're just like, you know what? I just can't deal with it anymore, so I'm just going to stop. Things are getting tough, so I'm just going to stop. That's part of what I see going on with our society. And for me, I think it's very sad. The part that makes the world really go around is our focus on family. You focus on your family, you raise your family right, you instill the right values in your kids, you show your partner the love and honor and respect that you have for them, and you take care of one another, and you raise that family, and you teach them kids right, and eventually the values of the world will begin to reflect those values. The problem that people have right now, I think, is they don't want to take the time to teach their kids the values. They want other people to do the work for them. And then they're wondering why the world is floundering. It's floundering because people are not taking that time. They're not going in and doing like my parents did and teaching me and my sister the right from wrong, but also teaching us the basic fundamentals of who we were so that we could grow, and giving us that opportunity and that place to grow. So that if we did flounder or fall, instead of just giving up. They made us get back up and try again. They made sure they instilled in us that we needed to do that we couldn't just give up. We were always taught that there was consequences for everything we did. I say this a lot on all of my channels. There's always consequences. The problem with people nowadays is they automatically assume the consequences mean something bad. So they hear that anything they do has consequences, and instead of saying, okay, I'm going to go and do it anyways, I need to do this, they just go, oh, okay, well, I don't want to deal with having any consequences, so I'm just going to walk away. But consequences run both. They can be a good thing or a bad thing. I had a head injury. There was consequences to that. I'm now disabled. I can't work a regular 9-to-5 job. We found that out this weekend. Just doing that 2 barely half days worth of work, by halfway through the day yesterday, Lauren had me go up and lay down because she's like, you're starting to slur. You're going to have problems. You need to stop now. So we went up. I laid down. She finished up the one piece that needed to be put up and then did a few other little things in there. Now I just have to go in and mud and everything. But she recognized it before I did, and she made sure that I went and got the rest I needed. So the consequence of me having my head injury is I can't do these things like I used to do. However, on the complete converse side of that, the consequence of my head injury is I ended up getting disabled. Being disabled led me to the place where I'm at now, where I was able to meet, fall in love, and begin a relationship with Lauren. It led me to having a family. It led me to having everything I have right now. Now, if I had a choice, would I get the head injury again? Honestly, I don't know, because the negatives about it are bad, but I've had a lot of positives come from it as well. And I think that looking back and asking those questions all the time is counterproductive, because I shouldn't always be thinking, what would I have done if things were different? What would I should be thinking, okay, I'm in the situation I'm in now. Whatever decisions have led me to this point have led me here. From now on, I need to start making good decisions. I need to start recognizing things when they start going bad so that I don't have further problems. I need to focus on what's good for me, for my family, to raise everything up and make everything better. What can I do now as a content creator, as someone who has a broader reach, to help everyone get some kind of background, some kind of information, some kind of something that will maybe spark an interest in someone to go out and do something further, maybe write something or do a project or do something to enrich themselves or others around them? Can I be an impetus for change? And the greatest thing that I have to say is that's one thing that my parents always taught me and my sister, that the only way to be what you want to be is to go forward and do it. I've heard it said many different ways. You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But it all comes back to the same thing. If you don't put yourself out there, if you don't try, if you don't attempt to push yourself outside of that little comfort zone every once in a while, if you don't just bring yourself to a point where you can just put yourself out there for others, to be there as a guiding light and helping other people get to whatever information or whatever they need, then you're not enriching other people's lives, in my opinion. You need to think more of other people. And I think the problem is a lot of people are too selfish. They're too self-centered. They think solely of themselves instead of thinking about the broader reach of the society that we're trying to make a better future for all the kids and all the future generations. We need to make those changes ourselves and in ourselves, and then let those reflect in our children and in the future generations that we're bringing up. Guys, I know that this was kind of just a little different than usual, but like I said, this was a very special day. Well, it was yesterday actually, but I didn't have the opportunity to get on and do it live yesterday, and I was planning one for today anyways. So again, I wanted to say to my mom, dad, and sister, who I know are still watching this, I'll be talking to you soon, I'm sure. I wanted to say thank you guys for coming in and watching. Dad, love you very much. Thank you for everything that you've done for me over my life. Thank you for being there for me and being the man that I looked up to make me want to become a better man. And to anyone else who is watching this in the future, please take the time to thank your parents and take the time to hug your kids. And other than that, I'm going to head out for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Ozzy out. Bye.